The 2024 MLB postseason is officially underway, and it was one of the best starts to a playoff run we have ever seen. We saw a player trip on his own bat, a player who isn't even legally allowed to drink have a multi-home run game, a different player tell another one to meet him in the parking lot to fight, and we even saw a player hug an opponent after that opponent might have just ended their season. Let's just start talking about the insanity. The hottest underdog in baseball, the Houston Astros, were taking on the 7-time in a row ALCS attendees, the Houston Astros. The Astros started off this series with a shocking decision, leaving future first ballot Hall of Famer Justin Verlander off the roster because he was horrible throughout the regular season. On to game 1. The Tigers had Tariq Skubal throwing, who had just won the AL Triple Crown for starting pitchers, meaning he led his league in ERA, strikeouts, and wins. The last guy to do that was Justin Verlander, funnily enough. Baseball is a small world. Either way, Verlander watched on the bench as his team got absolutely eaten alive by Skubal and the Tigers staff through 8 innings. And this was really bad for Houston because the Tigers had already taken a 3-run lead thanks to 3 RBI singles in the second inning. This was an easy win for Detroit, and they were just one win away from knocking out the big bad Astros. Wait, what is happening? The Astros are coming back into this thing. Bases loaded for Jason Hayward? Baseball gods finally punished the Astros for cheating back in 2017 by making that rocket line drive hit directly into Spencer Torkelson's glove. Tigers win game 1, 1 more to go, and down go the Astros. In game 2, Hunter Brown was battling about 28 Tigers relievers, and both were getting through the lineup with ease through 5 innings, until Parker Meadows put the Astros season on life support with a solo shot in the 6th inning. In the 7th, the Tigers brought out 13-year-old Jackson Jobe to make just his 2nd MLB pitching appearance, and that went about as well as you would have expected, as he loaded up the bases before getting an out and then allowed an RBI single. Matt Vierling must have thought that there had to be an age limit to be an MLB pitcher because he did not help his teammate out the next batter. He caught the ball so nonchalantly that Pena easily tagged up from second and scored in foul territory, even though the ball had barely left the infield. But luckily for the Tigers defenders, a more age-appropriate pitcher came into the game, so the middle infield had no trouble turning a double play to end that threat. Luckily for Houston, this 1-run lead was all they needed, because they had Ryan Pressly and Josh Hader to finish out this game. Ryan Pressly pressed the self-destruct button and allowed a wild pitch to tie the game, and just like that, the highest paid closer in baseball was here to save the day. Andy Ibanez just hit a 3-run double to bury the Houston Astros. That was it for Houston. Their reign of terror in the American League is over, and the biggest winners of this series easily was the New York Yankees, who now do not need to face their fathers in the ALCS and inevitably lose once again. Congratulations, New York. Moving over to Baltimore for the 2nd series in the American League wildcard, and I swear on everything, I completely forgot what this series even was, and it was played just 2 days ago. That's how underwhelming this series was. The Orioles refused to hit. Corbin Burns and Zach Eflin had great starts for the Birds, but apart from Cedric Mullins, I don't even know if the Orioles tried hitting. Anthony Santander, Gunnar Henderson, and Adley Rutschman all took the week off, which was poor timing as Baltimore lost game 1 1-0 and game 2 2-1. Colton Cowser also struck out with the bases loaded on a pitch that was about 6 feet inside and hit him almost on the shoulder, so that's not the best way to score runs. Bobby Witt Jr. also had go-ahead RBIs in both games, which is not overly surprising since he is kind of that entire Royals roster. This was a whatever series. Orioles did not leave their bird bath all series, and that was that. The real winner of this series is the New York Yankees, because they no longer have to worry about facing their fathers, the Baltimore Orioles. I know I already used that joke, trust me, but I might use it again too, I'm liking it so much. Also, while I have your attention, subscribe to the channel by pressing the big red button down next to my name. And I deserve it extra because if you can't tell right now, I'm sick and I'm still making this video for you guys, so make sure you subscribe. And if you are going to any playoff games in the future or anything that requires a ticket, go on over to SeatGeek and use code PeskyTalk at checkout for $20 off your first purchase. Again, that's code PeskyTalk. use it. Oh boy, it's time for the NL, and this side of the bracket was much more enjoyable. Starting out, the San Diego Padres versus about 40% of the Atlanta Braves firepower. Before we even begin, my god, the Atlanta Braves were injured going into this series, and I mean seriously, they were decimated. Ronald Acuna Jr., Chris Sale, Spencer Strider, Austin Riley, AJ Minter, this was bad. They were all out for this series. They might have literally had their 4 best players out. Game 1 proved the badness, with rookie AJ Smith-Shawver giving up a 2-run home run to Fernando Tatis Jr. before half the city of Atlanta even had time to turn the game on. And 15 minutes later, the other half of Atlanta's population turned the game off after Kyle Higashioka hit a sac fly to make the game 3-0 in the second inning. I am dying right now. I do not want to record this anymore. 3-0 isn't usually a death sentence. You hear that voice crack? 3-0 isn't usually a death sentence or anything, but with the way Michael King was pitching this game, he definitely sentenced them to death. 12 strikeouts with 0 walks, and his pitches were moving. Look at this strikeout to Travis d'Arnaud. What is that sorcery? Some people say hitting is not the hardest thing to do in sports. Yeah, okay, look at this damn pitch and look at the swing. Tell me what other professional athlete is looking that stupid on the field. No one. With King proving he was royalty and officially proving who won the Juan Soto trade game 1 was Raps. Oh, but first Higgy really had to rub salt into the wounds of those Yankees fans by smashing a home run. Poor Yankees fans. All they got was Juan Soto in the Higgy trade. I mean, you can't make it up. Sorry, Yankees fans, I can't help it today. I really can't help it today. Game 2 was started out by a first pitch double to Michael Harris II. By the way, I got multiple comments mad at me for calling him Michael Harris Jr. instead of the second. They're basically the same thing, but I corrected myself, so don't get mad at me again. I don't care anymore. Ozuna scores him on a sac fly, and with Max Fried on the hill, the Braves have a chance here with the lead. Look at Fried, he just pitched out of a bases loaded, no one out situation. This might be the game where, oh, there goes that man again. Higgy into the seats, and the Padres weren't done there. Single, bases loaded for Manny, and Manny sends Petco into a frenzy. Not only Petco though, Orlando Arcia, the Braves shortstop, also went crazy. He was so excited for Manny that he hugged him. Even after he was a part of the Brewers team that Manny Machado literally hated so much that he tried to play dirty on purpose all series, whatever, he hugged him. Braves fans were livid, and I would be too, honestly. Jorge Soler took out his anger on this baseball. He tried to knock down the walls of Petco with this blast, and he was pretty damn close. And Michael Harris II makes it a 1-run game with his 2-run shot. 6 outs to work with. Do they have a miracle? No, they don't. They lose and they get swept. 3 sweeps in a row. What is going on? This series, I promise, this Mets-Brewers series went 3 games. 2 absolutely cursed franchises. Who is gonna come out on top? Neither of these teams have playoff success ever. One of them has to win. This is 2 unmovable objects coming together, trying to move one another. Let's see what happens. Game 1 started with an easy 2-0 lead for the Brewers with their ace on the hill. Things were looking good until former Brewer Jesse Winker hit a game-tying triple and looked to talk to someone as he rounded the bases. Once he made it to third base, he and Willy Adames started jawing at each other, where Adames told him to meet him in the parking lot and he'd be waiting. He actually said that. Winker then scored a few seconds later, and 20-year-old Jackson Chourio ties it with a single. Then Chourio takes away a double from Marte and then immediately misplays the next ball, gives up a double that leads to a 4-run inning. That's the game, and baseball can humble you quick, especially when you're a rookie. And like I said, the game's over. 8-4 Mets, they take game 1. Chourio giveth, Chourio taketh. Now, I already said game 3 is happening, so that means that the Brewers have to win this game. But the Mets immediately took a 1-0 lead before the kid Jackson Chourio ties it with an opposite field nuke. What is this kid on? Mets scored 2 runs and the Brewers brought it back to within 1 when Jackson Chourio once again opposite field bomb. Unreal. This time it was in the 8th and it tied the game. And then pinch hitter Garrett Mitchell won it on a 2-run first pitch home run. Pete Alonso also cost his team a run in this game as he threw his bat in front of him and tripped on it, which that really takes a lot of skill. I don't even even know how that happens, and he grounded into a double play because of this, which took a run off the board. It was time for game 3, and Pete Alonso stranded another runner in scoring position. Mets fans were getting very sick of this all over the internet. Pete wasn't the only guy to struggle offensively, however, in this game. Both starting pitchers, Jose Quintana for the Mets and Tobias Myers for the Brewers, were absolutely dealing, and it was a scoreless game in the bottom of the 7th inning. Mets pulled Quintana, and Jake Bauers pulled one out. The former Yankee great, who they must miss with the injury to Anthony Rizzo. I'm sorry, I'm done because Sal Frelick just went back-to-back, and it's a 2-0 Brewers lead. Pete Alonso also made an error, which didn't lead to anything, but it's a bad series for this guy right now, and this might be the end of Pete Alonso's Mets career with this horrible look. 9th inning now, and the infallible Devin Williams is on the hill, but he's in some trouble. Single for Lindor, and now a single for Nimmo. Pete Alonso is up. Mets fans are crying because he's useless, and oh my god, he just hit it out. Pete Alonso slammed a go-ahead home run, and the Mets are in front. They score another, and Bryce Terang grounds into a double play, and the Mets are moving on. An insane finish to an insane wild card round. 3 more rounds to play. It's only gonna get more exciting from here. And if you don't want to miss any of the excitement, make sure you subscribe. Also, if you want to see why your favorite team is going to win or lose the MLB 2024 World Series, both videos are on screen now. Check them out. I'm going to go nap.